Why your body stores fat even when you eat less. Many people believe weight loss follows one simple rule. Eat less, and the body will automatically burn stored fat. While creating a calorie deficit is important, the human body is far more complex than a simple calculator. Some people reduce their food intake significantly, but notice that fat loss slows, stops, or even seems to reverse. That experience feels confusing because it appears to contradict basic nutrition advice. This raises a question. If someone is eating less, why would the body continue storing fat instead of using it for energy? The answer involves metabolism, hormones, muscle preservation, stress responses, and the body's remarkable ability to adapt. The body is designed to protect energy. From an evolutionary perspective, food was not always available. Humans evolved during periods when meals could be unpredictable, making energy conservation an important survival advantage. When food intake decreases, the body does not automatically assume someone is trying to lose weight. Instead, it may interpret the reduction as a potential shortage of food. As a result, the body begins making adjustments that help preserve energy. This is interesting because the body is not trying to prevent someone from reaching a health goal. It is trying to increase the chances of survival based on signals it has received throughout evolution. Why metabolism can adapt? Metabolism refers to the chemical processes that keep the body alive, including how it uses energy. When calorie intake decreases for extended periods, metabolism can adapt by becoming more efficient. This phenomenon, often called metabolic adaptation or adaptive thermogenesis, means the body may reduce the number of calories it burns during daily activities. Heart rate, body temperature, spontaneous movement, and even some cellular processes may become slightly more energy efficient. Although this adaptation helps conserve energy during food shortages, it can also make long-term fat loss more challenging. A situation that feels familiar. I've noticed that people often become frustrated after the first few weeks of dieting. At the beginning, progress seems encouraging. The number on the scale drops, clothes fit differently, and motivation stays high. Then everything slows down. They continue eating less, but the results become much smaller than expected. Many assume they are doing something wrong, when in reality the body may simply be adjusting to the lower energy intake. Understanding that possibility helps explain why early weight loss and later weight loss often feel completely different. Why hormones influence fat storage. Hormones play a major role in determining how the body stores and uses energy. Insulin helps regulate blood glucose, while also influencing fat storage. Leptin helps signal fullness and reflects long-term energy stores. Ghrelin stimulates hunger, encouraging food intake when energy becomes limited. Cortisol, often associated with stress, can also influence appetite, metabolism, and fat distribution. These hormones constantly communicate with the brain and other organs to help regulate energy balance. Fat storage is therefore influenced by much more than calories alone. The difference between weight loss and fat loss. Many people use the terms weight loss and fat loss as if they mean the same thing, but they do not. Body weight includes fat, muscle, water, glycogen, and many other components. During aggressive dieting, people may lose water and muscle along with fat. Losing muscle can become especially important because muscle tissue contributes to daily energy expenditure. If muscle mass decreases significantly, total calorie needs may decline as well. This is one reason preserving muscle through adequate protein intake and resistance training is often recommended during weight loss. Why eating too little can become a problem. It may seem logical that eating dramatically fewer calories would speed up fat loss, but the body does not always respond that way. Extremely low calorie intake can increase fatigue, reduce physical activity, and increase hunger, and encourage metabolic adaptation over time. People may move less without realizing it, burn fewer calories throughout the day, and find it increasingly difficult to maintain the diet. This is interesting because eating far less is not always more effective. Sometimes a moderate sustainable calorie deficit produces better long-term results than severe restriction. How stress can affect fat storage. Stress influences the body in many ways beyond emotional well-being. During prolonged stress, cortisol levels may remain elevated for longer periods. Cortisol helps mobilize energy during challenging situations. But chronic stress can also affect appetite, metabolism, and fat distribution. Some individuals eat less during stress, while others eat more. Poor sleep combined with chronic stress may further disrupt hormones. The relationship between stress and fat storage is complex, but it illustrates that body composition depends on more than food intake alone. Why movement matters throughout the day? Exercise is important, but so is ordinary daily movement. Walking, standing, changing positions, climbing stairs, and other small activities contribute to total energy expenditure. Interestingly, when people reduce calorie intake significantly, they sometimes become less active without noticing it. They sit longer, fidget less, and avoid unnecessary movement because energy levels decline. These small changes may reduce daily calorie expenditure enough to slow fat loss. The body quietly conserves energy in ways that are easy to overlook. The importance of sleep. Sleep is another factor that influences body composition. Inadequate sleep can affect hormones involved in appetite regulation, making people feel hungrier while reducing feelings of fullness. Poor sleep may also decrease energy, making physical activity less appealing the following day. This creates a cycle where reduced sleep influences eating behavior, movement, and recovery simultaneously. Although sleep alone does not determine fat loss, it plays an important supporting role in maintaining healthy metabolic function. Why protein becomes more important? Protein serves many functions beyond building muscle. During weight loss, adequate protein intake helps preserve lean body mass while increasing satiety for many people. Digesting protein also requires more energy than digesting carbohydrates or fats, a phenomenon known as the thermic effect of food. This does not mean protein alone causes fat loss, but it can support healthier body composition during a calorie deficit by helping maintain muscle and reducing excessive hunger. The body does not know you are dieting. One of the most fascinating ideas in human physiology is that the body does not recognize the concept of a modern diet. It responds only to biological signals. Reduced energy intake, increased activity, stress, illness, and environmental conditions all provide information that influences metabolism. The body reacts according to evolutionary survival mechanisms rather than personal goals. That perspective changes how many people think about fat storage. The body is not working against them. It is responding exactly as it evolved to respond. Why consistency usually matters more than extremes. Many successful long-term weight management strategies focus on consistency rather than aggressive restriction. Moderate calorie deficits, regular physical activity, adequate sleep, sufficient protein, and sustainable habits often produce better long-term outcomes than repeated cycles of severe dieting. Small improvements maintained for months or years usually have a greater impact than dramatic changes that cannot be sustained. That idea may sound less exciting, but biology often rewards consistency more than intensity. Final thoughts. Your body can continue storing fat or resist losing it, even when you eat less, because fat regulation depends on far more than calorie intake alone. Metabolic adaptation, hormones, muscle preservation, stress, sleep, and daily movement, and evolutionary survival mechanisms all influence how the body manages energy. Understanding these processes helps explain why weight loss is rarely as simple as eating less. Rather than viewing the body as working against you, it is more accurate to see it as constantly trying to maintain stability in a changing environment. Once you understand that, healthy fat loss becomes less about fighting your body and more about working with the biology that has been protecting humans for thousands of years. Thanks for watching.